The rain was unrelenting that afternoon, pounding against the windshield of my old Subaru as I pulled into the daycare parking lot in Northeast Portland. My phone vibrated in the cup holder, a sharp ping cutting through the steady rhythm of the wipers. I glanced at it, expecting Christopher's usual message about groceries or Mia's latest fixation with strawberry yogurt. Instead, the words on the screen stole my breath. Moving to Barcelona with Claire. Transferred savings to my account. Good luck with rent. My fingers stiffened on the steering wheel, the world shrinking to that glowing message. Mia, my 5-year-old, was inside, probably clutching her paint-splattered backpack, waiting for me to sign her out. I was Elena Harper, 38, a freelance illustrator who had traded late-night design deadlines for bedtime stories. And now, apparently, the ex-wife of Christopher Caldwell, who had just shattered our life with a single text. Our savings, $14,500, scraped together over 9 years of marriage, from every freelance project and every skipped vacation gone. The checking account held $412. Rent, $2,400, was due in 4 days. I forced myself out of the car, rain soaking through my hoodie as I crossed the lot. Inside, the daycare smelled of crayons and apple juice, a comforting kind of chaos. Mia ran toward me, her dark curls bouncing, her voice bright. "Mommy, did you bring my bunny crackers?" I knelt, forcing a smile that didn't feel real. "Not today, sweet pea. How about we pick some up on the way home?" My hands shook as I signed the clipboard, the teacher's cheerful chatter fading into background noise. Christopher's message replayed in my mind, each word cutting deeper. Claire was his assistant, sharp heels, sharper ambition, always lingering a little too long at office gatherings. I had ignored the warning signs, the late nights, the locked phone, the way he laughed off my questions. Now those signs felt impossible to miss. Back in the car, Mia buckled into her booster seat, humming a song about rainbows. "Is Daddy making tacos tonight?" she asked, her brown eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. "Daddy's on a trip," I said, the words bitter on my tongue. "We'll have pizza instead." Her face lit up, unaware of the cracks forming beneath our lives. I typed a reply to Christopher. "Thanks for the heads up." 3 words to hide the scream building inside me. My heart raced, not just with anger, but with the heavy, suffocating pressure of survival. How do you keep a roof over your daughter's head when everything has been torn apart? I gripped the wheel tighter, the Portland skyline blurring through the rain, and promised myself Mia would never see me fall apart. Back at our small apartment, I settled Mia in front of her favorite cartoon, her laughter a fragile anchor in the storm. The rain followed us home, tapping against the windows as I called the bank. My stomach twisted, while the representative, calm and distant, confirmed Christopher had drained our $4,500 into an account I couldn't access. "Since it's a joint account, ma'am, there's nothing we can do," she said. I checked our balance online, $412. Not enough for groceries and utilities, let alone rent. I sank onto the couch, the weight of Christopher's betrayal pressing heavily on me. 9 years earlier, at a design conference in Seattle, he had swept me off my feet with handwritten notes tucked into my sketchbook and promises of a shared future. I was a graphic designer then, climbing the ladder at a small firm, fueled by late nights and ambition. Christopher, a rising marketing star, had a smile that could sell anything, including the future I believed in. We married quickly, moved to Portland for my promotion, and bought a small condo near the Willamette River. When Mia was born, I shifted to freelancing, trading boardroom presentations for bedtime routines, while Christopher's career supported us. But cracks had begun to form. Unexplained charges on our credit card, dinners, hotel stays, appeared 2 years ago after we sold the condo to fund a startup for one of Christopher's friends. The business failed within months. He dismissed my concerns as market risk, and I trusted him, ignoring the receipts from late-night client meetings. His mother, Margaret, didn't help. She would sweep into our lives from Seattle, her designer heels echoing with judgment. "Mia needs discipline, Elena," she would say, her gaze lingering on my paint-stained jeans. "You're too soft." Christopher never defended me. His silence was its own kind of betrayal. My phone rang, snapping me back to the present. Margaret's voice was cold. "Elena, what have you done?" "What are you talking about?" I asked, confused. "Christopher says you're keeping Mia from him unless he pays you more." I tightened my grip on the phone, Christopher told me he's moving to Spain with Claire. He took our savings. Margaret, I'm not the one lying. Don't play the victim, she snapped. I've seen the messages. You're threatening to cut him off from his daughter. Her words hit hard, revealing a deeper plan. He wasn't just leaving. He was rewriting the story, casting me as the villain. I ended the call, my hands shaking, not just with anger, but with the growing realization that this was bigger than money. It was about Mia, about the truth, about the life I had promised her. I looked at her sitting on the floor, happily coloring, and felt something inside me solidify. Christopher thought he could erase us. He was wrong. The next morning, after dropping Mia at daycare, I drove to Christopher's downtown office. The Portland rain hung like a gray curtain over the city. I needed answers. I needed to see him, to believe the man I married hadn't become this. The receptionist's smile faded when I asked for him. "Mr. Caldwell resigned last week," she said, fidgeting with a pen. "Yesterday was his last day." "Last week?" My voice sounded distant, unfamiliar. "He was here Monday." She avoided eye contact. "He submitted his resignation 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, I can't discuss personnel matters." 2 weeks? While I had been preparing for Mia's preschool art show, Christopher had been dismantling our life piece by piece. This wasn't sudden, it was planned. In the parking garage, I called his friend Sam, who had always been polite but distant. "Hey, Alina," he answered carefully. "You okay?" "You knew," I said. "You knew he was leaving." Silence followed. "He made me promise not to say anything," Sam admitted. "He said he needed a clean break, that Claire made him happy, and that you and Mia would be better off without him." "Happy?" The word burned. "He took our savings, Sam. Did he tell you that?" "Jesus? No," he said quietly. "I didn't think he'd go that far." I ended the call, the betrayal cutting deeper. Back home, a certified letter waited for me. Christopher's divorce filing, submitted a week earlier. It listed his Barcelona address and stated he was relinquishing all parental rights to Mia. A note from his lawyer claimed I had sufficient savings to support us needs, a claim that only deepened the damage. I searched Christopher's desk, desperate to find anything I could use. In a drawer beneath old bills, I discovered an envelope addressed to Margaret. Inside was a birthday card with a note. "Mom, thanks for the Barcelona apartment deposit. Claire and I can't wait to show you our place. Couldn't have done this without you. Love, Christopher." The card was dated 3 months earlier, around the time Christopher first mentioned his promotion. Margaret hadn't just been aware, she had financed his exit. My hands trembled as I took a photo of the card, anger and clarity meeting at once. This was no longer about repairing a marriage. It was about protecting Mia's future. I sat across from Anna Gwynn in her modest Portland office, the Willamette River reflecting faintly through the window. Anna, a divorce lawyer recommended by an old college friend, carried a direct but steady approach as she studied me. I handed her the divorce filing, the bank records, and the photo of Christopher's note to Margaret. "He took everything," I said, my voice unsteady, "and now he's trying to make me look responsible." Anna's expression tightened as she reviewed the documents. "What Christopher did isn't entirely illegal. Joint accounts give him access, but it's unethical. Judges don't respond well to this. We can file for emergency child support and request to freeze his assets." She leaned forward. "We'll need proof he's earning income while avoiding his obligations." I nodded, holding on to screenshots of his message and the transfer details. That evening, my parents called from Eugene. Their voices felt grounding. "We'll cover your rent," my mother said firmly. "You're not alone, Elena." Their support eased some of the pressure, giving me room to think and act. Later, after Mia had fallen asleep, I searched Christopher's desk again. On our shared laptop, I found an unsent email in his drafts addressed to Claire. Attached was a resume listing a new position at Horizon Global in Barcelona, starting just 2 days after his message. My pulse quickened. This was the evidence Anna needed. I forwarded it to her, my hands shaking with both anger and determination. Christopher believed he could disappear, but I was beginning to uncover the details he left behind, piece by piece. For Mia, I became focused and persistent. Close to midnight, with Mia asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with Christopher's laptop open. I tried his usual passwords, Mia's birthday, our anniversary, and gained access to his cloud storage. Folder after folder appeared, each one revealing more, transfer confirmations, emails to Claire, and a document labeled custody plan. My stomach tightened as I read it. Christopher and Margaret had planned to use my postpartum depression, something I had worked through with therapy, to present me as an unfit mother and take Mia to Spain. The words blurred as tears filled my eyes. I had trusted Christopher during those difficult months after Mia's birth, when exhaustion and anxiety felt constant. He had seemed supportive, bringing coffee, encouraging therapy. Now it was clear it had been used strategically. There was more. A message from Margaret, dated months earlier, outlined their plan. Once you're settled in Spain, we can push for custody. Her history gives us leverage. Among the files was also a screenshot of a Cayman Islands account holding $45,000, set up years ago with Margaret's involvement. This discovery wasn't just financial evidence, it pointed to coordination between them. I sent everything to Anna. My hands still shook, but now from resolve rather than fear. Christopher and Margaret believed they could remove me from Mia's life. They were mistaken. My phone rang while I was helping Mia with a finger painting project, her laughter offering a brief sense of normalcy. The number was unfamiliar, but the voice was clear. It was Claire, though her usual confidence was reduced. "Elena, we need to talk," she said. "Christopher isn't stable, and I'm stepping away." "Why are you telling me this?" I asked quietly so Mia wouldn't hear. "He's hiding money from me too," she said. "Another account in Liechtenstein, over $200,000. He booked a flight to Portland tomorrow, and I'm concerned about what he might do." I stepped onto the balcony, the Portland skyline dim under heavy clouds. "What do you want, Claire?" "Protection," she replied. "If I give you evidence, I need immunity. When Christopher finds out, he'll come after me." I consulted Anna, who arranged an agreement. Protection for Claire in exchange for full documentation. By evening, Claire sent bank statements confirming the Liechtenstein account, along with a sworn statement describing Christopher and Margaret's months-long plan to leave and secure custody of Mia. Her decision wasn't loyalty, it was self-preservation, but it provided the final proof I needed. As I saved the files, I felt a mix of tension and clarity. Christopher was returning, but now I was prepared. The Portland courthouse felt cold and imposing, but Anna's steady presence kept me focused as we prepared for the emergency hearing. Inside, we faced Christopher's lawyer, a polished man in a tailored suit, and unexpectedly, Margaret. Her expression was controlled but sharp. "You should be ashamed," she said quietly. Anna responded immediately, warning that Margaret could be called as a witness for her role in assisting Christopher's actions. In court, Anna presented the case clearly and precisely. Christopher's message, the withdrawn savings, his job in Barcelona, the offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands and Liechtenstein, and the documented custody plan. The reference to using my medical history against me drew a visible reaction from the judge. Christopher's lawyer attempted to shift the narrative, presenting me as the aggressor, but the judge interrupted. "I've reviewed enough," she said firmly. She approved our requests. Christopher's accounts were frozen. I was granted temporary full custody of Mia, and Christopher was limited to supervised visitation. As we walked out of the courtroom, Margaret's glare followed me, but I felt a small sense of progress. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting, I was taking control and making progress. The next morning, my phone rang. It was an international number. "This is Lucia Vega from HR at Horizon Global in Barcelona," a woman said. "We received an email from you regarding Christopher Caldwell's employment. He was terminated yesterday due to undisclosed legal concerns." "I didn't send any email," I replied, my pulse rising. Lucia forwarded the message, which appeared to come from me. It included altered claims about Christopher's custody case and copies of my legal documents. My apartment showed no signs of forced entry, leaving one clear possibility: Margaret. She had visited shortly after Christopher's message, offering support while going through my files. This appeared to be her attempt to interfere with Christopher's employment, limiting his ability to pay support and weakening the legal case. Minutes later, Christopher called, his voice tense. "You got me fired, Elena." "It wasn't me, it was your mother," I said, forwarding him the email. "Check the documents. She had access when she was here." He went quiet, then said, "I'll call you back." About an hour later, he sent messages between himself and Margaret. They revealed her broader plan to interfere from the beginning, including pushing for custody of Mia by presenting me as unstable. The situation exposed that even Christopher had not fully understood her actions. I sent everything to Anna, who immediately filed for identity fraud charges. Margaret's actions were beginning to unravel, and the case was moving forward. With Claire's evidence, Anna secured an emergency restraining order just hours before Christopher's flight landed in Portland. Airport security stopped him upon arrival, delivering the order along with a summons for the next day's hearing. He called from the airport, frustrated. "I came to fix things, Elena, with a one-way ticket." "I'll see you in court," I replied, relying on the evidence Claire had provided. The hearing marked a turning point. Anna presented the Liechtenstein account, the custody plan, and Margaret's identity fraud. Christopher's legal team struggled to respond as the evidence built. The judge ordered a forensic financial review, which uncovered not only the $45,000 account, but also additional funds Margaret had concealed for Christopher. Each ruling strengthened the legal protections around Mia's future. Christopher's resistance began to fade, and when he looked at me, there was a hint of regret, but by then, it no longer mattered. In the months that followed, the outcome became clear. The financial investigation revealed hidden assets, leading to civil penalties for both Christopher and Margaret. Margaret faced identity fraud charges, and her reputation declined when her actions became known in her Seattle social circle. Christopher's standing in Portland's marketing industry was also damaged, with details of his actions appearing in public court records. He rarely used his supervised visitation rights, gradually becoming absent from Mia's life. Claire returned to Spain, her agreement marking a clean separation from the situation. With the recovered funds, I purchased a comfortable condo in Portland's Alberta Arts District, filling it with Mia's artwork. I returned to full-time design work at a firm that valued my skills and provided flexible hours suitable for a single parent. Mia adjusted well to her new preschool, her laughter bringing energy into our home. One evening, as I tucked her into her bunny-themed bed, she asked, "Will Daddy ever visit Mommy?" "I don't know, sweetheart," I said gently, smoothing her curls. "But we have each other." Her smile grounded me. Christopher's message, "Good luck with rent," was meant to break me. Instead, it revealed a strength I hadn't fully recognized, shaped by experience and reinforced by my responsibility to my daughter. I wasn't just managing anymore. I was building a stable life, step by step. To everyone who followed this journey, thank you. You've been part of a story shaped by challenge, persistence, and progress. If Elena and Mia's story resonated with you, consider subscribing and staying connected. Every story we create reflects resilience, growth, and new beginnings. Keep moving forward, and I'll meet you at the next chapter.